Either Barcelona or Manchester United will win the Champions League next season. And before you turn your nose up, come with us and we'll tell you why we say so. Two clubs in Europe who have a lot in common right now are Manchester United and FC Barcelona. Two undisputed European giants who have been a shadow of themselves in recent years in European competitions and even in the league. Barcelona, who never used to go 2 seasons without winning La Liga, have now not won the league title in 4 years. And in those 4 years, they've had 4 different coaches and quite a handful of failed big signings. In Europe, surely we need no reminding. It's been embarrassment after embarrassment ever since they last won it 8 years ago now, all of which has culminated in Barcelona playing in the Europa League for the 2nd season in a row. This is absolutely crazy for a club that used to be regarded as the best in the world at one point. But it's a tale that Manchester United are all too familiar with. No Premier League title won in a decade, no Champions League in 15 years either. Their last European success came in the Europa League, and even that was 6 years ago. They're currently in a 6-year trophy drought, with that Europa League being the last silverware they laid their hands on. So, considering both these giant clubs are still battling it out in the Europa League, you could say that they're not where they should be, but one thing is for sure. Things are most definitely looking up both at Camp Nou and at Old Trafford. These two clubs recently hired relatively young coaches, and they look like they're finally setting the clubs back on the right path. In their respective leagues, they are actively in the title race. Barcelona has already won 1 trophy this season after seeing off their deathly rivals in the final of the Spanish Super Cup. United, on the other hand, are in the final of the EFL Cup, and could well be breaking their trophy drought in a matter of days. But perhaps, more importantly for the fans of both clubs, the teams are now playing good football, and it feels like their individual identities are now being restored. The renaissance for these two giants of Europe is truly on. Both these clubs had a lot of activity in the summer transfer window to prepare them for the season they're currently having. Barcelona brought in Koundé, Raphinha, Christensen, Kessie, Alonso and Lewandowski. Manchester United brought in Antony, Malacia, Lisandro Martinez, Eriksen, Casemiro, and of course, they made that huge decision to let Cristiano Ronaldo go mid-season. These introductions have really helped both Xavi and Ten Hag stabilise their respective ships pretty quickly. And with how they've been playing this season in their respective leagues, you could even say they deserve to be in the Champions League knockout stages right now. I mean, Barcelona have only lost 1 league game all season, and with each game they play, they seem to be tearing further away from Real Madrid at the top of the table. Man United have lost only 5 Premier League games, 2 of which came in the first 2 games of the season, before they found their feet and became actual competitors yet again. And that actually makes their turnaround look even more beautiful. People had already written them and the new manager off after those losses to Brighton and Brentford, but now they're back and are in the title race. Yes, they're not exactly the favourites to win it, but you'll be silly to just write them off completely at this stage. And remember, both of these clubs are still active in their domestic competitions. United are in the 5th round of the FA Cup, while Barcelona are in the semi-final of the Copa del Rey. So there's still a chance they could finish the season with a European treble. Sure, not the type they completed in 1999, 2009 and 2015, but a European treble nonetheless. Oh, the wonders that would do for their confidence. But here's the thing, while we're both happy that these two giants are finally getting back up on their feet, obviously, that European treble dream cannot happen for both of them. I mean, of course, only one of them could win the Europa League anyway. But what we're saying here is that the European dream will be cut off for one of these re-emerging teams, even before the round of 16 stage. Pretty brutal, isn't it? Those two were drawn in the round of 32 of the Europa League, and they each put up a performance worthy of the Champions League final itself. We're surely not exaggerating when we say that the game took us back to the semi-final games of 08 and the finals of 09 and 2011. This Europa League game did not have Messi and Ronaldo. It didn't have Ferguson or Guardiola. But what it had was spirit. From minute 1 to minute 90. You could see that both these teams knew that, even though it was just a round of 32 Europa League game, it held a much bigger meaning for the club, and especially the fans. And they fought it until the very last second, and gave us a masterpiece. But as is the nature of football, there can only be one winner, and as such, one loser. On paper, it would feel like a dagger to the heart for whoever is knocked out in a couple of days. As a team on the path back to all glory, getting knocked out in the round of 16 of the Champions League would be bad enough. But getting ousted in the round of 32 of the Europa League could do serious damage to the confidence of both the fans and the players. But one thing we'll say to whoever that team is, keep your head up. You're still on that path. And if you continue to do what you've been doing all season, you could end up giving us a showdown like this in the Champions League final next season. I mean, if both these clubs put up the exact performance they put up in the first leg of the Europa League round of 32 game in the Champions League final, it would go down as one of the great Champions League finals in recent history. And boy, would we love to see that. So, we'll go out on a limb right now and say that, come 2024, either Manchester United or Barcelona will win the Champions League. They have the players, the coaches, and the right spirit to bring it home, so why the hell not? Of course, there'll still be clubs that'll have something to say about that. Clubs like Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, and hell, even Arsenal and Napoli. But considering that this round of 32 Europa League game between Man United and Barcelona was of better quality than every round of 16 Champions League game this week, we'll say that Barca and United have a really good shout at the big ears next season, provided they keep on doing what they're currently doing. Also, they have more hunger than most of these guys. Madrid won it last season, Chelsea won it the season before that, and just before the Blues did, Bayern and Liverpool won it. So it'd be easier for them to rest on their laurels. But for Barca and United, there are no recent European laurels to rest on. Finally, the fans. The fans need to know that they're the most important part in all of this. It might be hard to take a round of 32 Europa League exit, especially when you think of what these clubs have suffered in Europe in recent years, but the club is finally on the right path after many years, and you should not let a small setback ruin everything. As it stands, Man United and Barcelona have pretty much already sealed their places in the Champions League group stages for next season. So, do you support our prediction that either of them could go all the way in the competition next season? Let us know in the comments. Or perhaps we're even jumping the gun. Let's first focus on the current season. Of course, whoever comes out on top in that return leg will be the favourite to go on and win the Europa League. But do you think United or Barcelona will be able to do it? Bear in mind that this tournament still has the likes of Juventus, Arsenal and Ajax, who are all also hungry for European glory. Share your thoughts with us in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Ciao.